Well, morning boys and girls, friends, enemies, how the devil are you? Well, that was an interesting 5 minutes down that road. We've got Storm Gareth at one of the tail ends of it, popping to visit us, making riding quite interesting. Probably not the wisest choice to come out on a motorbike in these winds, but love a challenge. Not much going on this week. Did my chain. I keep my chain well cleaned, well lubed, but it was starting to sound gritty and it just didn't sound right. And, I thought, get a new chain, and saw online the chain and sprocket kit for almost the same price. DID chain, X-ring, not a low quality chain. And of course on this there's no split link, it's all rivet. And my riveter is probably past its sell by. So the old chain come off Irish style, whacked a grinder through it, 2-second job. Not going to keep an old chain, am I? And putting the new link in, bit of a pain because she's a bit blunt, but we managed to get the nipples bent over. New sprockets, it's a pain. Probably getting too old for all this, you know, stripping down rear wheels and red Loctite, 50 and 90 pound torque settings, and where I used to enjoy it, I just found it a bit tedious. The hardest part of this beast, because the adjustment at the rear, on the rear wheel, there's some lines, but they don't really line up with anything. They don't match each other that well, and they don't like the chain not being 100% straight. So when I got it, I got one of those little laser monkeys. It does make a big difference, but you have to adjust the chain on this on the side stand. Yeah, I know, all a bit of a kerfuffle. So then the bike's leaning over and you're trying to adjust the wheel, and if you go a bit too far you've got to hold it upright and sort of put the brake on and knock the wheel back again, and it's just a faff. It's not technical, just faff. There's no need for it to be so bloody minded. But anyway, there's a marked change in the bike. There's slightly, not much, but slightly less noise, and it's a smoother noise, and she seems to be running smoother. Not by much, but you can actually feel the benefit of a new chain. When I took the old one off, it looked in really good condition, but there were kinks in it, so obviously some of the rollers are either worn out or got grit in them and seizing, not to a massive extent, but enough to not allow a smooth rotational rhythm. So I'm pleased I did it. Just discovered it was a bit of a pain in the butt doing it. was I? I never really finished, did I? Sorry. Got to put some titty in it. A few more miles out of her. Yeah, the interesting thing was, this is recommended for 1742 cogs. And when I stripped it down, the new kit comes 1742. There was a 16 on the front, and I did a bit of research. And KTM themselves went to 16 about a year after this was made. And I inspected it, got the micrometer out. It was in fine fettle, so I put it back on. The rear cog was probably see another chain, but it was just the price of the kit was so cheap. In fact, I'll go as far as to say the rear sprocket wasn't showing anywhere. Mothers, dangerous. Yeah, I think the chain was just probably not looked after by the previous owner, and that was probably the problem. I suspect previous owner put new chain and cogs on, but didn't maintain the chain particularly well. Now obviously when I bought the bike it was sparkling, but it'd probably been pressure washed off, and I suspect when they pressure washed the bike down, they probably forced either grit in or grease out of the rollers. I tend to look after my chains quite well and do them properly. You shouldn't use a pressure washer on a roller chain. The little rubber X-rings or O-rings are good at keeping dirt out and grease in, but against the pressure washer they will flex and move. Looked at the chain as close as I could, and they did fit. Two of the links felt rusty, if you can feel rust. Certainly gritty. So anyway, that problem's resolved. I'm now going to play with the wind again. Deep joy. That was it. Just a very short one for the day. You have a good weekend. Stay safe, stay happy, and keep smiling. Because you know when you smile, it pisses your enemies off. Bye.